Hello my friends and welcome to a new video. I've been running my little art business, Fun Gal Studio, for 3 years now, and in that time I have faced lots of wonderful experiences that I didn't expect to have, lots of delight, lots of joy, but you also, in the course of running a little business and trying to grow your little business, experience a lot of rejection, and I just embraced for that at all times because that's just part of the process. So when I put in my application to be a vendor at the Edmonton Folk Music Festival, which has been probably my dream market to ever be a part of, Folk Festival is very close to my heart. I've been going for years. The vendor market is just top tier. I put in my application not thinking I would get in, but somehow I did, and I was absolutely delighted to have been accepted, and it ended up being one of the best markets I've ever done in my whole little artist career. It was just a dream come true and everything about it was wonderful. So I had to vlog my experience of getting ready for it and the market itself. So that's what this is. There's actually a part 1 to this video if you haven't seen it yet, because when I was filming my prep for the Folk Fest, I ended up having at least 2 videos worth of footage, even with cutting a bunch of stuff out. So there's a part 1. You can either watch it after this or go watch it first and come back to this one. It doesn't matter. It's all a good time. But in this video, we'll be finishing all of the preparations for making my new pins and magnets. I get them started in the last video and we finish them in this one. I also do some product stocking. I do make a lot of my products myself, so you kind of see a little bit of behind the scenes on that. But most exciting, I think, is you got to see some little clips from the market and how I ended up settling on my booth setup in the end. And we'll wrap up the video with market reflections and what I learned and what the whole experience was like. I hope you enjoy the video and I will see you at the end. Hello, it's voiceover Katie here. I'm just fighting off the end of a cold, so I apologize if my voice sounds a bit scraggly. I'm currently chugging a citrus and honey tea, so hopefully that will help my voice last to the end of this little chat. But I wanted to talk to you about the end of my pin making process. I go into depth on the first few steps in the last video, so here I'll tell you about gluing the backs on and doing the varnish. So I do not recommend the glue that I'm using. You can see right now it did not work very well. I ended up having to upgrade to the E6000 glue that most crafters recommend, so that's what I would recommend if you are looking to make pins like this. The last step is the varnish, which you'll see me do more of later in the video. I ended up deciding to go with a polyurethane varnish rather than a UV resin, just for simplicity's sake. The key I find is doing several thin layers of the varnish if you're going to go with the polyurethane, but I find it's worked perfectly well for me. So something that I've been wanting to make for a really long time and just haven't gotten around to is making pin back button style pins. You'll see this kind that I mean in a second if you don't know what I'm talking about. But my mom already had a button maker, and so all I had to do was just design and print all of my pin designs and bring them over to her place, which we'll do after this. I decided to do kind of a folk art style collection of pins because my hope was that all of the little designs could look really cute if you mix and match them, which they absolutely did. You'll also see some clips of that later on. We've got all the designs printed, so let's head over to my mom's and turn them into cute little pins.
This, and maybe this is even something that could be fixed, maybe Dad. So this piece,
Oh, it's like a
circle cutter of all different sizes, and this piece tightens it into the exact right. So when you go around like this, it cuts it. I've tried using a punch. I can't get it to be exactly right. So if I could,
like on the center or the size?
size.
Oh. Yeah, on my crooked or silhouette, I could, because I can customize it exactly. So I could do it.
The top, these stick together. Like you have to be like really like sure that you've only got one piece. Okay. Now I don't know. See, I do need the little. I need it to hold on. So I ruined the first one.
Hi, Mr. Handsome. Hi.
Oh, he's liking the camera today. Giving you a little smile.
Yeah. Like this.
So you want to make sure that it is for sure all the way. Yeah. And then you felt that second click. Okay, then you can let go. And then it's gone. And then it's up inside here. So then you put this one here. And then you put that one down. And there is no second click for this one, but I just try and...
It's so cute.
Now,
I got it.
I'm Gal Dad.
I could get hired in the company.
Yeah, you're hired.
oh,
You're hired.
Same thing I did. As soon
Still
as I was
good.
on camera.
Still good.
Are you gonna use this for promotional footage? Now?
Push harder.
How about that one? We're here.
I'm waiting for it to stick. Yay.
Teddy wants one.
A pin?
What am I missing in that batch?
Hello, time for a chatty update. I am so busy, you guys. I feel like my brain's gonna explode at all times. This weekend, my friends are getting married. I have their rehearsal dinner tonight, but it's also the last weekend before Folk Fest. Folk Fest is next weekend. I'm losing my mind, and I'm gonna have so little time this weekend. And also then, like, I'm getting married. I can't even think about the stuff that I have to do to get ready for my wedding this weekend because I have so many other things going on. I can't even let myself worry about that right now. But I digress. We are putting glue on the back of, I decided to make like a small chunk of these because when I started making these polymer clay painted design guys, my initial thought with them was that they'd be partially magnets and partially pins. But I think that at Folk Fest the pins are going to be way more popular because they can put them on and wear them right away. So I picked a small batch of them to be magnets, so that's what I'm gluing the back of right now. And then I finished varnishing about half of the pins, so I'm going to put those on backing cards while these ones like dry and get the next steps like done for this. So that's the goal today before that rehearsal dinner tonight. If my brain doesn't explode at some point during the day today. Let's keep our fingers crossed it does not, because I do not have time to clean that up. Good morning, my friends. Today we are finishing putting all of these pins on their backing cards and the magnets as well. I'm finishing the wedding card because the wedding is this weekend. I'm going to the bachelorette tonight and I need to show you this very cute thing I just made. I feel like a Photoshop wizard, you guys. I took this sketchbook page scan and like isolated all the little elements and copy and pasted the ones I wanted and arranged them into here. And I made the background, like I made the elements like lower opacity so you can still read the text on top. I'm so pleased. I think it turned out so cute. It's going in my like Instagram story highlight thing. is officially T-1 day to Folk Fest, so I'm doing all last minute stuff I need to do. Right now I'm printing off restocks of my prints that I think will maybe hopefully sell well, and printing off extras so that I can put them in my frames that I'm gonna be using to decorate my grid walls that are going up in the booth. I was going to test run how I was gonna set up the grids, but I decided that the effort that would take is not really worth the effort. We're just gonna have the frames ready, and my friend Justine's coming to tell me tomorrow, so we'll figure that out when we get there. It feels very surreal. I feel pretty on top of things, but also I'm like kind of scrambling to get these like last couple things done before we actually go to the festival tonight, because it actually starts today. My passes are good for the whole weekend, so Kelsey and I are gonna go watch some of the music tonight if I can get everything ready in time. What a whirlwind this has been. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's happening. Can't believe we're actually here. It's Folk Fest day. I'm honestly very stressed out right now, so I don't really feel like talking to the camera for very long. We're gonna pack up the car. I've got all of my stuff by the front door. Crossing my fingers that I haven't forgotten anything. Worst case scenario, I just won't have it for day 1. I'll bring it for day 2. So here we go.
Oh, I love those.
Let's recap my most successful market ever. So it ran from Friday to Sunday. It was like a Friday evening, Saturday all day, Sunday all day sort of thing. Thankfully I took Monday off of work because oh my god, I was pooped at the end of the weekend, but it was so good. My body was tired, but my heart was full. I think I made a really smart choice by asking 3 of my favorite people to be my assistants on the different days. I had my friend Justine come Friday and my friend Denny came Saturday and then Kelsey came Sunday. And so I was joking with like my fellow vendors that even though I'm getting progressively tired each day, they're fresh blood and they can handle all the excitement. So it was a good strategy, I think. One of my biggest disappointments of Folk Fest, sadly, was that I had the idea to make temporary tattoos and I ordered them and they were supposed to be in a week in advance. and they came one day too late. They came in on the Monday following the Folk Fest, which just broke my heart. That I feel like people would have loved them and they would have gone over so well, but that's okay. I'm going to be bringing them to the Strathern Art Walk that I have coming up next month. For new products, my clay pins and magnets and the pin back buttons went extremely well. I am very, very glad I decided to do that. I pretty much sold out of my clay pins and magnets, which was crazy. I think I had 3 left coming home and I went with like 70 or 80 or something like that. And then the pin back buttons did really, really well as well. And they're definitely, like, as far as profit margin goes for our product, they're really, really good. So I think I'm going to keep making those and bringing them to markets in the future. I'm hoping to bring the clay pins and magnets and these buttons to my shop in the future. I just have to get the correct shipping sorted for those items, so that will hopefully be coming into my shop, but because they're not flat like everything else in my shop, I have to figure out a different shipping system. So if you're interested in those, stay tuned, they'll be in my shop eventually. So I made close to $4,000, which is my most successful market by almost double. When I look back and think about what I think helped me to be successful at this market, I think the keys to my success were that I really embraced what people were going to be looking for at a music festival. Surprisingly, I did have lots of people who did purchase things like prints and cards, things that were not necessarily easy to carry around, but I was pleasantly surprised by the number of people who did buy those things, but I was prepared to have things that weren't like that. I had the pins and I knew my vinyl stickers were going to be really popular, so I made sure I had a ton of those in stock, which definitely helped. I think that having a really cohesive thematic display really helped me because people walking by knew very quickly whether it was going to be their vibe or not, and I get lots of compliments, people coming in saying like, I love your aesthetic, I love your style, like this art just really speaks to me. And like, first of all, when people say stuff like that to me, oh my god, I can't even like put it into words. It makes me warm and fuzzy. It like gives me the chills. It's just like my dream. Like that's just like what I'm doing it for, to like make artwork that speaks to people. Some people, I'm literally tearing up right now. It makes my heart so full when people are so kind like that. Also vertical height, having vertical height in the booth makes a world of difference. It's really tricky to figure out the right way to display things. I've found it's been a really long journey finding the right way to do this for my products, but it makes such a difference that people can really kind of just scan and see everything you have to offer than having to like come and look over the table and look down at things. Another thing I think I did by accident is I had appeal for all ages. I sold products to people from like toddler to senior. I feel like my work is very like whimsical and almost kind of childlike in a good way, and so kids seem to really like it, but also like the adults who are children at heart, which is me, seem to resonate with it. So I think that's really cool and definitely help with sales at an event like this. As always, one of the highlights of markets is getting to know my fellow vendors. The other folks in the art community in Edmonton are so kind and so welcoming, and I'm so grateful to get to be a part of it, and I'm really glad I got to deepen my connections and forge some connections with other artists at this festival. One last fun little highlight I want to mention is that my favorite things that happened is this sweet little guy came and bought one of my clay pins. It was a little morale mushroom with a face on it. I can't remember what day this was, but he might have been there the whole weekend, I can't remember. He came to me and bought the pin, and I saw him more than once come back with his pin on, and he looked around and he kept over the whole weekend coming back and buying himself more little goodies for me. It was so sweet. And then at the very end of the festival, he came back to me one last time, spent all of his last little bits of change on whatever he could get his hands on that was left as they were like closing the tents at the end of the night. And he had gone to the face paint booth and gotten his pin painted on his face, so he had like my pin design like as his face paint, and it was so sweet. I'm so grateful to the Folk Fest for having me. I really hope they'll have me back in the future. It was truly one of the best festival experiences I've ever had. It was just the loveliest time all around, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I get to do this. I'm grateful to you for sticking around and watching this video. Thank you so much for watching. The internet is full of incredible content, and you're here watching mine, and that means the world to me. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take very good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.